I've been listening to Charlie Munger quite a bit recently. Kind of, going back down memory lane, listening to some old lectures, some old videos. The guy was brilliant, had a ton of quotes. And one of my favorite, I'm paraphrasing here, but the idea is that we shouldn't dwell so much on our, we'll call them faults or weaknesses, but rather we should be diving fully into our strengths. And this is one of those things that on the surface probably makes sense right away, but the reality is we don't always do it. We spend so much time stuck on the things we aren't good at or that we're not drawn to, that we forget to nurture the things that separate us and make us unique. I like to joke around about Microsoft Excel. Right? Microsoft Excel used to haunt me. I hated it. I hated opening it. I hated the formulas. To me, the seventh layer of hell is someone with a sweater vest on asking me to find trends in an Excel spreadsheet. Right? And so going from school to a job as an analyst, obviously, the circumstances didn't care whether I liked it or not. That was the vehicle through which we had to arrive at a lot of important outcomes. So the deal was figure it out, and I did. And I got better. But the same way a blind person on a park bench would get better at identifying people walking by. They're just operating with less than ideal tools, right? And that was one of many indicators. It was bro, you are in the wrong spot. Not spot in the building, but spot in life. And as I continued the process of navigating towards my strengths, I saw more and more the value of exactly what Charlie Munger was referring to. The further I stepped outside my zone of genius, the less likely I was to have a positive impact in my own life and the lives of those around me. And again, when you think about this, or even talk through it like you're explaining it to a fifth grader, it makes perfect sense. So an example, you're an athlete, it's your gift, you love it, you thrive on it. Okay, in this example, would you rather spend 90% of your time focusing on the athletics you love and becoming the 1% of the 1%, uncommon amongst uncommon men or women, as Goggins would say? Or would you rather be that incredible athlete who, instead of spending 90% of his time nurturing the gift, felt bad about being terrible at chess, and so practiced chess every day in an effort to go from terrible to mediocre? It's who cares? You suck at chess. You don't need it. Let chess go. Unless you're getting personal enjoyment out of it, which is a different story altogether, but let it go. Focus on where your happiness and strengths intersect. That's where you'll get the most joy. That's where, when the sun comes up in the morning, you jump out of bed, feeling invigorated, ready to take on the day. Right? Too many of us, using the same example, are athletes trying to become mediocre at chess. For what reason? I personally am a creator, a writer, a speaker. It's what I love and it's what I'm good at. So I should be doing creator, writer, speaker things. And so the question I'm going to pose to you is, what is that for you? What are those things in your world? And lastly, because life is not always black and white, there's one more caveat that I think needs to be addressed. If there's something you don't love doing, but it's required to help you do more of the thing that you do love doing, then at least for a period of time, you have to suck it up and find balance, right? So a few examples, easy one for me. My company was a one-man show for a long time. A lot of you know that. I've talked about it. It wasn't just creating, writing, and speaking. It was learning how to use a camera. It was learning how to edit audio, learning how to edit video. It was strategy. It was understanding social media platforms. It was, believe it or not, going through YouTube's data, some of which exports to Excel. But I survived, right? And I still do. And here's what I've learned, and where the spirit of Charlie Munger's message has been critical. I surround myself now with people who not only do things I don't like or take care of my weaknesses, but they're amazing at it. Our zones of genius are different. My weaknesses are their strengths. That's Team 101. And that understanding, it frees us all up to do what we're great at as much as possible. Ideally, 100% of the time. In fact, one of my biggest breakthroughs was talking to my now business manager about value add. He's sort of analyzing the situation over here, and he goes, hey, the thing that you can do that no one else can is be sharing your story in front of the camera. We can get an awesome group of people around you to analyze trends on YouTube, to create thumbnails, to answer email, to edit audio and video, to schedule things. In a perfect world, you're doing zero of that. Why? Because your zone of genius is speaking and storytelling. And I got excited thinking about how far that concept could go. It's like, imagine a world where I wake up and only do the things I love doing that fall within my zone of genius. That to me was groundbreaking. It's like Charlie's comment isn't just about going, from the minefield of Excel to creating my own business. No, it takes it further. It's shedding things until all that's left is the stuff that makes a difference. That's how you create greatness. And I'd advocate, that's the mental shift we should all be making. Stop feeling like, we owe it to someone or something to go from a 0 to a 2 in a certain category, when we can change our lives and the world by going from an 8 to 10 in the things that mean the most to us. You have that ability, right? It's a cutting away process, understanding what moves the needle and going all in there. So if you're looking around and realizing, hey, I'm fighting every day to go from bad to proficient, particularly in an area I don't care about, then odds are you're in the wrong arena. And I think the best advice is to seek out the right one. To find a place where that exhausted energy lights you up. It'll be life-changing, experiencing the power that a move in that direction can make.